So 3 space.
No.
And now for our feature presentation.
Michael Batten wears adult diapers, E-I-E-I-O. And when he does, he shits in them, E-I-E-I-O. With a there and a
Person.
Michael Batten shit his diapers, E-I-E-I-O.
Hello there everybody, now time for another series of movie collection videos here on my channel. Last time I showed you all the Disney Black Diamond titles that I have, which has grown a little bit, and it's gotten over 1,000 views, so I thank you guys for that. Now it's time to move on to the Hollywood Pictures VHS tape collections, which Hollywood Pictures was a division of the Walt Disney Company, first formed in 1990. And then it went defunct in 2001, but then came back for a short time in 2006 and 2007. But before I show you all the tapes, I've got 3 guests with me, and they are NG2C Network.
Why won't anyone dance with me?
Maybe I will after this video is over, Gary. I'll dance with you. We have the good guy, NWB 1989. And we also have Steve the Shredder. The Shredder, yeah. Hey. Alright, let's get going. First tape I'm going to show you here is The Air Up There, starring Kevin Bacon. Sneak preview says this movie is lots of fun. I've only seen bits and pieces of this movie. I haven't seen the full thing yet. The American Radio Network says it's highly entertaining, and I don't know who this critique review is because part of the tape is damaged, but it says The Air Up There scores. Yes, I did. Here's the ink label. Printed on May 13th, 1994, so this tape is almost 20 years old. But like I said, I don't know how this tape opens exactly because I haven't watched it in a while, but when I put it in my VCR soon, I'll put it in on the annotations here on this video, so I can tell y'all. Okay. Here's Angie, starring Gina Davis. Gina Davis is hilarious, says the New York Post. Oh yeah. CBS TV says, it's a winner. And the New York Times says, Gina Davis's performance is exhilaratingly funny.
What movie is it again?
Angie. It's from 1994 or 95. I'm not too sure. It was also co-produced by Caravan Pictures. Here's the label. This is a 1994 film because the print date is July 8th, 1994. But like I said, I can't remember the openings to all these tapes, but those I do remember, I'll tell y'all. For those that I don't, I'll put it on the annotations when I look at the tapes. Here's the very first film ever made by Hollywood Pictures, Arachnophobia, co-produced by Amblin Entertainment. A lot of critique reviews on here. Siskel and Ebert give it 2 thumbs up. ABC TV says it's thrilling. Rex Reed at the movie says it's fun, and Good Morning America calls it a roller coaster ride of a movie. In fact, I showed this on movie night not so very long ago on Google+. 3 more critique reviews on here. CBS TV says it's thrills and comedy. Fox TV New York says it's entertaining. And NBC TV of New York says it's great. But yeah, I highly recommend this movie. It's really awesome. This used to be a Blockbuster rental, but that's not where I got this from. Okay.
I remember Blockbuster going back to that old video store getting all your movies from.
Oh, me too. Print date on this tape is January 17th, 1991. Now, I can tell you that this tape has the 1984 FBI warning screens, followed by a Coming from Touchstone Home video bumper. Then there's previews for 3 Men and a Little Lady and Mr. Destiny. Then the gold feature presentation logo, the Hollywood Pictures logo, and then the film. Okay. Am I missing a Hollywood Pictures tape? Hang on. Hang on a second, folks. Where are your manners? Thought I was missing a tape here, but I guess I'm not, so we can continue. Here's The Associate with Whoopi Goldberg. Outrageously funny, said WBAI Radio New York, and CBS TV of New York says Whoopi is a howl. A must-see, said by American Urban Radio Networks. CBS TV New York says it is terrific. I've only seen bits and pieces of this film, so when I watch the whole thing, I'll give my full critique on it. Okay. Okay. Oh, and it came with a little insert in here. Buena Vista Home Entertainment presents The English Patient. And there's some other movies on video like Shadow Conspiracy, Scream, Too Much, and Up Close and Personal. Evita, Emma, the Miramax Cafe, films from Miramax Films, release on videos from Touchstone Movies, Dimension Home Video, that sort of stuff. Here's the label. Co-produced by Polygram, printed on September 29th, 1998. So I think this is a reprint. But again, when I look at the tape, I'll tell you all the openings on annotations, or closings, if there are any. Okay. Next one. Before and After with Meryl Streep and Liam Neeson. Riveting, said by WBAI Radio. Powerful, said by the ABC Radio Network. Also co-produced by Caravan Pictures. I've heard okay things about this film. Printed on February 5th, 1997. Here's a fun comedy. Blame It on the Bellboy. This is a British comedy. It's got Dudley Moore, Brian Brown, Paddy Kinsett, Richard Griffiths, and Bronson Pinchot. The New York Times says it's witty. This fast-paced farce is effervescent fun. Okay, here's the back of it. The comedy zips along in overdrive, said by the New York Daily News. The cast is first-rate, said by Los Angeles Times. Seen this movie before, and it's pretty funny. Especially the bellboy there, Bronson Pinchot. Printed on December 10th, 1992. Okay. Here's a good movie. Blood In, Blood Out, or Bound by Honor. 10 plus, said by KCOP TV Los Angeles. Riveting, said by the New York Times. Compelling, said by the New York Daily News. And epic storytelling, said by the Chicago Tribune. It's 3 hours long. I think this is the longest film Hollywood Pictures has ever produced. But this is a really awesome movie. Printed on May 14th, 1997. So it's a reprint. But it doesn't have any previews on here. And I think the reason why there's no previews is because this movie is 3 hours long. But awesome movie. Definitely check it out. Alright. Next up. Born Yesterday with Melanie Griffith, Don Johnson, and John Goodman. Weren't Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson also in Paradise? I believe they were. Well, I'll check into that later. The American Movie Classic says, Irresistible. It's a hip, fun-filled, hilarious 10. High Style Entertainment, said by NBC TV of Los Angeles. This used to be a Hastings rental, as you can see here. And you can't really see the print date, but it's okay. I have to remove this sticker right here to see what the print date is. I'll check into that when I can. Here's a fun movie. Camp Nowhere with Christopher Lloyd. Funny, said by the New York Times. Still has the plastic seal on it. Sheer high spirits, said by the Los Angeles Daily News, and fulfills every summer camp veteran's dream, said by the Los Angeles Times. Saw this movie before, and it's a pretty fun film to watch. Label. Printed on September 9th, 1995. So it was printed less than a month before Cinderella, the Masterpiece Edition, came to home video. Right here we have Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman. A Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer production. A powerhouse action thriller, said by Rolling Stone. Full Throttle Tension, said by the LA Times. 2 thumbs up, said by Siskel and Ebert. 2 of the best actors head-to-head, said by Good Morning America. And again, I've seen bits and pieces to this film, but I haven't seen the whole thing yet. But when I do, I'll be sure to let you guys know what I think about it. It's got a dark sticker label on here. Printed on... I think that's a dark sticker label. Yeah, it is. Printed October 14th, 1995. Okay. Here's Dead Presidents, made by the Hughes brothers. Wild Action, excellent, said by Entertainment Weekly. Powerful, said by USA Today. It still has a plastic seal on here. Hollywood Reporter says it's riveting. The film never slows, said by New York Newsday. And the year's best soundtrack, said by the New York Daily News. Co-produced by Caravan Pictures, that you see right there. Alright. Oh, Chris Tucker's in this movie. Alright. Here's the label. Print date. From the looks of it, it's April 23rd, 1996. This was a Hollywood video rental. Okay, here's a good one. Duets. With Gwyneth Paltrow and Huey Lewis and a few others. I know Gary here is a big fan of Huey Lewis in the News.
What am I?
A fan of Huey Lewis in the News?
Damn Skippy.
Well, Huey Lewis is in this film, Duets.
Nice. What's the movie called again?
Duets.
Oh, Duet.
Yeah, Duets. It's got the song Cruising Together, performed by Huey Lewis and Gwyneth Paltrow, which is one of my favorite songs.
I've never seen the movie Duet, but if it's with you, is it a good film?
Yes, it is, actually.
Okay, I'll try and give it a check it out.
Okay. Print date on this tape is April 9th, 2001. And here's another Whoopi Goldberg comedy. Eddie. Whoopi is hilarious, said by WRTV of New York. Eddie scores, says by Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune. Right? A winner, said by the Cincinnati Enquirer. Great laugh, said by the Baltimore Sun. Oh, yeah. That's right. Here's the label. Printed on June 24th, 1997. So just 3 days after my 10th birthday. Not bad. Here's a fun one. Encino Man with Brendan Fraser and Pauly Shore. Starring MTV's major dude, Pauly Shore. Where are your manners?
In your mouth.
Oh, I gotta go gargle with mouthwash. And CBS Radio Network said, if you liked Wayne's World, you'll love Encino Man. Well, I do like Wayne's World, but I only like Encino Man. I don't love this film, but I like it. A lot of fun, said by ABC TV. Oh, yeah.
I gotta be honest and say it's a funny movie, but I prefer Wayne's World more.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This is also a former rental. Printed on, this is a reprint, March 12th, 1997. But it still opens the same way as the original 92 or 93 VHS. I'm not quite sure when it first came out. I know the film is from 1992. Alright. Here's another fun one. Fatherhood with the late, great Patrick Swayze. He's America's Most Wanted. Dad! America's Most Wanted Dad, huh? A Fast Ride, said by the Los Angeles Times. Saw this movie and enjoyed it. It's a kind of a fun comedy. Printed on March 2nd, 1994. Here's Funny Bones with Oliver Platt and Jerry Lewis. 2 thumbs up, said by Siskel and Ebert. A terrific cast, also says Gene Siskel of Siskel and Ebert. 60-second preview calls it wonderful. An American Movie Classic says it's a captivating comic gem. Oh, Leslie Caron is in this movie? I did not know that. Oh, that's awesome. Here's the label. Printed on August 31st, 1995. Alright. Here's G.I. Jane with Demi Moore. High powered, said by the Boston Globe. 2 thumbs up, says Siskel and Ebert. Highly entertaining, said by WBAI Radio New York. Exciting, said by LA Weekly. Excuse me, I can't talk. Again, well, this was made by Ridley Scott, actually. I've seen bits and pieces of this film, but not the whole thing yet, so I'm going to have to sit down and watch the whole thing soon. Printed on May 7th, 1998. Okay, now this next film I'm going to show is on my guilty pleasures list. Gone Fishin' with Joe Pesci and Danny Glover. Chicago Tribune calls it Big Laughs. Oh, this is a funny movie. Good fun, said by the Chicago Tribune. In fact, Nick, this is the film where we heard the phrase 10. 10 plus. Borderline 11. I know this movie was a flop at the box office and it got really bad reviews, but I personally have fun with this one. It's definitely a guilty pleasure. Fortunately, this is not the worst film ever made, in my opinion. Printed on...
I own it too. I think it's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah. Printed on August 14th, 2002.
Do you want to sing with me?
Sure.
Won't anyone sing with me?
I'm singing with you.
He shares to sing with me.
Oh, yes. Okay, here's another one we have. Guilty as Sin with Rebecca De Mornay and Don Johnson. I think this film is from 1992. This is also the same year when Rebecca De Mornay co-starred in The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, which I have right there. We'll get to that in just a minute. Roger Ebert of Siskel and Ebert gives it thumbs up. An erotic thriller, said by the Los Angeles Times. The New York Times calls it Guilty as Sin, winds up in Hitchcock territory, and a game of very high stakes, said by the New York Daily News. Also starring Don Johnson. How about that? Here's the label. It's a reprint from January 20th of 1996. January 20th, 1996. Okay? I just mentioned The Hand That Rocks the Cradle a little bit ago, and I happen to have it right here. Also with Rebecca De Mornay, but also starring Annabella Sciorra, who is also in films like Jungle Fever and The Hard Way and a few others. Entertainment Weekly calls it the year's hottest movie. ABC Radio Network says, a chilling thriller that will have you on the edge of your seat. I have seen this movie, and I will tell you that this movie is creepy. Very creepy, but awesome. Label. It's a reprint from September 26th, 1998. But it still has the same previews as the original VHS, so there you have it. Here's another fun one. Houseguest with Sinbad and the late great Phil Hartman. Sneak preview says, it's hilarious. Outlandishly funny, said by the LA Weekly, and Sinbad is a charmer, said by New York Newsday. Saw this movie. It was pretty funny. especially at the end of the movie when they have those Christmas song parodies during the end credits about patty melts and cheeseburgers and a few others. Definitely funny. Printed on June 11th, 1995, so just 10 days before my 8th birthday. Okay. Here's another comedy with Polly Shore. In the Army Now. Genuinely funny, said by the Houston Post. It's good fun, said by the Sacramento Bee. Entertaining and action-packed, said by the Orange County Register. Okay, what to say about this film? Except that it's pretty darn funny. I mean, it's not quite as funny as a Son-in-Law, but it's definitely worth watching. And the print date on here, it's a reprint, April 10th, 2000. Right? Here's Just Visiting with Jean Reno, Christina Applegate, and Christian Clavier. Thumbs up, said by Roger Ebert of Ebert and Roper in the Movies. Wildly funny, said by San Antonio Express. Haven't really watched this movie that much, so I can't really give an opinion on it. I mean, I heard mixed reviews about this film, but I'm going to have to watch it to see if I agree. Printed August 14th, 2001. Next up, we got Keenan Ivory Wayans in A Low-Down Dirty Shame. People magazine calls it explosive action, funny, and entertaining. Okay. Keenan Ivory Wayans is terrific, said by 60 Second Preview. Undeniably funny. You can't help loving it, said by the Orange County Register. Also co-produced by Caravan Pictures, from the looks of it. Or it's just produced by Caravan Pictures, I don't know. Here's the label. Printed, it's a reprint from January 20th, 1999. Alright, next up. The Marrying Man with Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger. Laughs, Lust, and Energy, said by Rex Reed. I saw this movie for the first time on Encore back in 2008. Thumbs up, said by Roger Ebert of Siskel and Ebert. Pretty funny movie. It takes place, I think it takes place during the 1950s. I'm not sure. But I will tell you, this Gary, it's got some classic songs from the 50s in this film, so I think you might enjoy this one.
What movie is it?
The Marrying Man. It's with Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger.
The Marrying Man?
Yeah. It's based on Neil Simon's play. He wrote this film. Printed on
Fabulous.
September 16th, 1991. Here's a good one right here with Sean Connery. Sean Connery, Medicine Man. That's famous titles, Mr. Connery. Spectacularly thrilling, said by the Washington Post. This was directed by the same director of Die Hard. A completely fascinating adventure, said by NBC TV. Saw this movie, and I actually liked it. It's pretty fun. Pretty good movie. Label. Also co-produced by Synergy. Printed on July 31st, 1992. Okay. Right here we've got Miami Rhapsody with Sarah Jessica Parker, Antonio Banderas, and Mia Farrow. ABC Radio Network says it is a hilarious comedy. Sexy, said by the Movie Minute. Never really saw this film, so I can't really give my opinion on it. Alright. Show the label. Printed. What's the print date? June 23rd, 1995. So 2 days after my 8th birthday. Alright. Next up we got Mr. Holland's Opus with Richard Dreyfuss. One of the year's 10 best, said by the New York Post, WBAI Radio, and CNN TV. 2 thumbs up, said by Siskel and Ebert. Irresistible, said by The Today Show. 4 stars, don't miss it, said by WBAI Radio. Sneak Previews calls it wonderful. Saw this film and liked it. Highly recommended. Printed June 4th, 1996. So 17 days before my 9th birthday. Okay. Next up, I'm going to show Mystery Alaska, featuring an all-star cast here. The Rocky of Hockey, said by Ted Goldenberg of Fox TV. Full of action, suspense, and heart, said by Jason Miller of ABC TV. Can't really see the critique review on there from Larry King, but that's okay. Here's the print date, the label. Printed April 14th, 2000. Next up is One Good Cop with Michael Keaton. And in this movie, he's not Batman. One distinctly different kind of cop movie, said by NBC TV of Los Angeles. Saw this movie, liked it, recommended it. And out of all the Hollywood Pictures VHS tapes I have, this is the only one I have with a vertical sticker label. Check that out right there. See that? Printed on September 19th, 1991. I think this was printed around the same time as the Marrying Man tape that I have. And here we got Quiz Show with Robert Redford, or made by Robert Redford, excuse me. A lot of critique says it's one of the year's 10 best, Redford's best film, said by Entertainment Weekly, and a must-see, said by Entertainment Tonight. 2 thumbs up, said by Siskel and Ebert. Riveting, said by NBC TV. This has to do with the quiz show scandals from the 1950s. Think this is for the $64,000 question or maybe the $128,000 question. I'm not too sure. It's been a while since I've seen this movie, but it's really good. Printed on October 12th, 1995. Getting closer, y'all. Here's The Rock, again with Sean Connery, and also with Nicolas Cage, who I know Daniel Monahan is a big fan of, and Ed Harris. Again, produced by Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times says it's a slam-bang action thriller. Okay. Spectacular, said by NBC TV. A rock-solid adrenaline rush, said by The Movie Minute. And the thrill ride of the year, said by WHYY TV Philadelphia. Here's the label. March 9th, 1998. That's when this tape was printed. Take my socks off here. Here's Roommates with Peter Falk and D.B. Sweeney. Funny, touching, wonderful, said by the New York Post. A must-see, said by American Movie Classics, and terrific, said by ABC TV. Co-produced by Polygram. Here's the label. Printed on August 13th, 1995. Here's a movie I got recently called Run. Patrick Dempsey and Kelly Preston. Seal is still on here. This was a Blockbuster rental, by the way. Can't really see the Los Angeles critique review on there, so... I actually have not seen this movie, but I've been wanting to, so I'm going to sit down and watch it sometime. Printed on June 27th, 1991, so just 6 days after my 4th birthday. Just 12 tapes left, guys, and then we're finished. Ooh. Oh, here we go. Here's Spy Hard with Leslie Nielsen. Absolutely hilarious, said by the New York Post. You'll laugh your socks off, said CBS TV of San Antonio. And Nielsen is at his goofy best, said by LA Weekly. I think this is supposed to be a parody of some spy films or something. I'm not really sure. Printed on June 15th, 1997. There's also some promo stuff inside of here, but I'll show those in another video. I mentioned Son-in-Law earlier. Here it is. Again, with Pauly Shore. Outrageously Funny, said by ABC Radio Network. Hilarious, said by the Los Angeles Daily News. Zany, said by the Chicago Tribune. Fun, says ABC TV of Los Angeles, in which that's definitely a fun movie. Middle America. Where are your manners?
Let me see. Gary, you're safe. Steve, you're safe. Sorry, Aubrey, they're down the toilet. They need a sword.
Oh, why me?
Guys, you big dead.
No, we'll see about that, buddy boy. Printed on December 2nd, 1994. Yeah. Next up here, A Stranger Among Us, again with Melanie Griffith. A riveting, top-notch thriller said by WNCN Radio of New York. The best performance of her career said by Jeffrey Lyons of Sneak Previews. This is a film worth seeing, says ABC TV of LA. I've seen a little bit of this movie. I need to watch the whole thing soon. December 1st, 1992. Just the day before Blame It on the Bellboy was printed. Hey Nick, you said you couldn't wait to hear about Super Mario Brothers, right?
Yes?
That's the tape I'm about to show. Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo, and Dennis Hopper. It's a blast, said by the Washington Post. Eye-popping special effects, said by 60 Second Preview. Now, I know a lot of people did not like this film when it came out in theaters in 1993, and it was also a flop at the box office. But I remember seeing this in theaters back in 1993, and I actually liked the film a lot, and I still like it to this day.
Even though the atmosphere during the movie is not as colorful as the popular video game is, but I personally enjoy the film as well.
Oh yes, right on, Nick, right on.
What's the name of the movie?
Super Mario Brothers.
Big Space?
Nope, just Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers from 1983. Oh, my bad.
It's okay.
It's all good.
Printed on November 19th, 1993.
Mario Brothers movie I know is the one Nick made, that's it.
Well, Gary, I'm gonna have to show you this movie sometime soon. I think you might like it. We'll have to see.
That's the only Super Mario Brothers movie I know. It's that one Nick made.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. Next up, we're getting down to it. Swing Kids, a film not to be missed, said by the ABC Radio Network. Powerfully moving, said by New York Newsday. Unique and unremarkable, said by KCOP TV of Los Angeles. Label. July 23rd, 1993. Here's another early Hollywood Pictures film, Taking Care of Business, with Jim Belushi and Charles Grodin. There's no critique review on this tape, unfortunately, but that's okay. But it was made by some of those people who produced Down and Out in Beverly Hills, I know that much. Here's the label. And yeah, from the looks of it, this was printed on January 2nd, 1990. That's what it says on here, January 2nd, 1990. This doesn't lie. They might have meant to put 1991 on here, but I don't know. Not too sure. But we have Terminal Velocity here with Charlie Sheen winning!
Duh.
Fast and Fun, said by USA Today. A rousing action adventure, said by the Los Angeles Times. And a rip-roaring good time, said by the ABC Radio Network. Here's the label. Print date of February 7th, 1998. Tombstone, with Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer. This has an all-star cast, of course. One of the year's 10 best, said by KCOP TV of Los Angeles. Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer are terrific, said by Sneak Previews. Yeah, this film has an all-star cast. Oh, and even Charlton Heston's in this movie. By the way, you know who composed the music to this movie, Nick?
Who?
Bruce Brogton. Although the best music he ever did was for The Rescuers Down Under.
Right on.
This tape was printed on October 16th, 1994. Only 4 tapes left to show, so let's go ahead and get right to them, shall we?
Let's do this.
Unstrung Heroes with Andy McDowell, John Turturro, and Michael Richards. No, not the Mike Richards who's the producer of The Price is Right, but from Seinfeld. Yeah, exactly. Magical, said by the Associated Press, and touching, said by the Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. Uh-huh. Label. Printed on October 14th, 1996. Here's another tape. V.I. Warshawski with Kathleen Turner. She's as sexy as she is smart, said by the New York Times. Thumbs up, said by Roger Ebert of Siskel and Ebert. And Turner is a lot of fun, said by the New York Post. Here's the label. Reprint from March 25th, 1997. Here we've got While You Were Sleeping with Sandra Bullock and Bill Pullman. A Winner, said by the Boston Globe. Irresistible, said by USA Today. 2 thumbs up, said by Siskel and Ebert. Plenty of Fun, said by the San Francisco Chronicle. I also know that Glynis Johns, who is the mom in Mary Poppins, also appears in this movie. Here's the label, and this is a reprint from June 14th, 2002. 7 days before my 15th birthday. Now we're down to my last Hollywood Pictures tape, which is The Wrong Guy with Dave Foley and Jennifer Tilly. No critique review on here, though. Can't get the tape out. Hang on. There we go. Printed on August 14th, 2002. Alright, well there you have it for all my Hollywood Pictures VHS tapes. Again, I don't know all the openings to these tapes, but when I do know, I'll put them all on annotations. That'll do it for this collection of movie videos, and I'll see you all for my next one coming soon.
Wrong. Hey, you made me lose a bet.
Mario and Luigi will get you!